Hello everyone, welcome to this video by Great Learning. My name is Sai Sharan and today we are going to discuss a very crucial topic. So this topic is about running ads on the world's most used platform, which is Facebook. So running Facebook campaigns is vital for every digital marketer out there. And let's quickly look at why you need to use Facebook for your digital marketing plans. Like I mentioned earlier, Facebook is the highest used platform across the world with over 2.5 billion users across the world. So you are sitting on a gold mine of users by reaching out to them via Facebook. So using Facebook ads, you can reach users on Facebook, Instagram, and what is known as the audience network. That is the whole network of Facebook through which you can run ads and show up your products. So it's not just Facebook that you're reaching out to, that 2.5 billion. You have this 1 billion users using Instagram actively. So Instagram is a super hot platform today. Most users have Instagram on their phone. I'm sure you watching this video might be having either Facebook or Instagram on your phone, and you must be receiving ads at a daily level. So with this, you know the potential of how businesses and digital marketers are unlocking the potential of Facebook, Instagram, and audience network using Facebook Business Manager and showing up their ads. So now let's look at what is Facebook marketing. When I say Facebook marketing, like I mentioned, this does not restrict yourself to just Facebook. Facebook Business Manager or Facebook campaigns means that you run the campaigns on the Facebook Business Manager, but the reach or wherever the placement of your campaign would be on Facebook, Instagram, and audience network. So I would like you guys to keep this in mind throughout this video so that you don't misunderstand Facebook marketing for just Facebook. So it is Facebook, Instagram, and audience network. So audience network means that it is a host of apps. It could be gaming apps, it could be video calling apps, all those apps that Facebook has partnered with so that your ads can get a wider reach. So through Facebook marketing, you have a host of options. You have a variety of objectives that you can drive through your campaigns. You can drive conversions, you can drive awareness, you can drive leads, you can get app installs, app engagement. So there are different objectives within Facebook. This also includes your store visits. So there are multiple objectives on Facebook as well, but it is for you to define which actually suits you best and go ahead with that objective for your business. So here let's look at a quick example of what a Facebook ad looks like. I'm sure all of you have come across a Facebook ad at some point in your life. But this, like I said, isn't restricted to Facebook. This is also on Instagram and the audience network. So the screenshot that I provided is on Facebook. As you can see, there is a sponsored written right under the ad. So you would see this as a normal feed ad, that is, it would look like sponsored. So even on Instagram, you would see a similar sort of a format where you would see an ad and it would say sponsored. But the example that I've given is for a feed placement, that is the Facebook home feed placement. There are multiple placements within the Facebook Business Manager or Facebook Ads Manager. So here there are placements which are in Facebook Stories, Facebook Newsfeed, and multiple other places like the Instagram Stories, Instagram Newsfeed, Instagram Reels. So Instagram Reel ads is something new that has come up in 2021, and you can use this to tap into a wide audience because Reels is now a hot placement. Most of Instagram users are now using Reels. So through using Reel ads, you can promote your content on that specific placement. So likewise, there are multiple placements that you can choose from. And I will be showing you that while we launch our campaigns on Facebook Business Manager. So now let's look at the quick terms that you need to know before you launch a Facebook campaign. So these are a few basic terms. Of course, there are many more that you need to keep in mind, but let's get started with these basic ones that you need to keep in mind. So the first one is campaign. So the structure itself is that campaign ad set and ad. So this is something that is super crucial and you need to keep that in mind while launching a campaign. So the structure of the campaign, ad set and ad. So you have one campaign within which you can have multiple ad sets, within which you can have multiple ads. So you can have, say, one campaign for driving conversions. Within that you have 2 to 3 ad sets or more, which have multiple targeting options. And within each ad set, you can have multiple ads. So that is the structure that is followed for campaigns. The difference is that one campaign can have only one objective. That is the main purpose of this. So within one campaign, you can either drive conversions or you can probably drive leads. You can get app installed. So there are multiple objectives, but you have to stick to one while launching a campaign. You have to select the main campaign objective and post that. Within ad sets, you can define the demographics. You can define what audiences you want to show, what placement goes in there, what budgets go in there. So there are multiple aspects to that once you get started with a campaign. So for example, you could launch a campaign for driving conversions. So the objective remains driving conversions, but in that you have multiple ad sets. Say you are selling shoes, so you would want to segregate it, probably saying in tier 1 cities, you're selling shoes is one ad set, and the second ad set could be tier 2 cities. So that is one way of segregating the ad sets, within which you have separate ads. In each ad set, you have separate ads. Another example could be that, again, you're selling shoes, but you want to split it by gender. Say you are selling men's shoes separately and women's shoes separately. So you would have that one campaign which drives conversions, within which you have an ad set for men's shoes, the second one for women's shoes, and probably a third one for kids' shoes. Within this, if you want to have multiple ad sets, you can probably have something like men's shoes for tier 1 cities, men's shoes for tier 2 cities, women's shoes for tier 1, women's shoes for tier 2, and so on. So there are multiple options of segregating the ad sets, and of course the ads within that will also need to change. You don't want a women's shoes showing up in a men's shoes targeting option, right? So it depends. You will have to define what the targeting goes like, and within that you can segregate and separate each ad set. So you have multiple options within that. You can separate it by age group. You can probably use different placements on each ad set, or you could probably use different targeting options altogether. So you have multiple types of audiences, which we'll come to in the coming slides. So you can probably separate it via interest-based targeting versus a lookalike targeting. And there are multiple options there, which we will see while launching our Facebook ad campaign. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is the budget allocation. In Google campaigns, how it works is that the budget allocation is only at a campaign level. But in Facebook, this is quite different. So the budget can be allocated at a campaign level too. So at a campaign level, it is called as campaign budget optimization, where you allocate the budget at a campaign level and Facebook itself decides which ad set is performing best and which ad set to allocate more budget to. The constraint that comes with this is that sometimes some ad sets don't spend enough of your money. This is something that probably might not be very feasible. So Facebook has given you another option, which is the ad set budget optimization, where you can set budgets for each ad set and basis that it spends accordingly. Of course, there are multiple options within the campaign budget optimization as well. So these minute details, I will save it for later while we launch our first Facebook ad campaign. Before that, let's quickly look at what other terms are necessary for this particular campaign. So there is impressions, which means the number of times your ad was shown. So impression counts each time the ad was shown. A very similar term is reach. Reach means the unique number of times your ad was shown to each person. So this means that, say me and you, we both see an ad. Say you and I see the same ad. I see the ad 3 times. You see the ad twice. This means that the impression is 5, which is 3 plus 2, 5 impressions, while the reach is only 2. Reach means the unique number of people the ad was shown to. That is you and I. So it means that 2 people the ad was shown to. The reach is 2. The impression is 5. So it is important to keep that in mind to understand the metrics related to your ad. The 5th important metric is CTR, or click-through rate, which means the number of times your ad was shown versus the number of times your ad was clicked. So this indicates how effective your communication is, how effective your ad was. It's important for you to understand which ad got a higher click-through rate, for you to understand which communication is working, which image is working, which video is working, which asset is working in general. So in this, again, there are different types of CTR. In Facebook, CTR also counts post clicks. It could be a like or someone just clicking on somewhere around the post. So another metric which is vital to understand the number of people who went to your landing page is link click-through rate, which means that the number of people who clicked on a link or outbound click-through rate, which means that the number of people who saw your ad, clicked on it and went to your website. The last term in this slide is frequency. Frequency means the number of times your ad was shown to a particular person. Say your frequency is 3. It means that within your audience base or the audience targeting that you've put, Facebook has shown the ads to a person thrice. So if you are targeting, say, existing website visitors, that is people who already came to your website, within that whole pool of audiences, each person saw the ad thrice. So it is important to monitor this particular metric. Sometimes, especially in retargeting, we end up targeting the same person quite a few times, which might not be so relevant. So sometimes the frequency goes up to 10. This means that a person within that time frame, say within 7 days, whatever the time frame that you set, a person sees the ad 10 times or 15 times. Whatever that number is, frequency indicates that specific number.